It's hard to tell just what the ultimate sign of the apocalypse is, but it might just be this. Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski, co-hosts of Morning Joe on MSNBC, some people's favorite show, a lot of people's least favorite show, have announced that they are in fact engaged. They had a kind of, there's definitely a chemistry between the two. It started, some noticed, by a lot of eye rolls at him, and then they became loving eye rolls over a certain amount of time. Vanity Fair broke the story as Mika tells them, everybody talks about how there was always something there. Over the past year and a half, I realized I had to face these feelings and that it was time to stop putting them in a box, phrasing. It was not an easy process, and it was not an easy set of decisions for either of us. It was something I just couldn't deny anymore. And so they were together, there was an announcement, and then they went to France together for her 50th birthday, it seems. And then, as she puts it, when I saw him on one knee, I started laughing nervously, almost hysterically. And then he asked, and I said, absolutely. The little cherry on top of this discussion is they were having dinner with the president, President Trump, and he made an offer to them. According to the Vanity Fair article, if they planned on getting married, they should consider doing so at Mar-a-Lago or the White House, is what they recalled Trump saying. And that's when Jared interrupted and said, hey, you know what? I got my license. I could marry you. And then Trump snapped back after that. Why would you marry them? They could have the president of the United States marry them. So there you have it, guys. How do you feel when I tell you that Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski are engaged?
Well, it's great to see that a Republican and a Democrat can just get over their differences and come together if they're both in the 1%. I mean, it's just like, who cares?
Yeah, it's really
two
who
people
cares?
on an unbearable show are together now officially.
Right.
And getting married again. So it's like, you know?
Right, yeah, see, I like this stuff. I didn't choose to make it the first story that we talked about. Though I think because they know I like this stuff, I watch a lot of morning television. And I like to watch, like, Kelly and her various co-hosts.
It's Ryan Seacrest now, right?
Ryan Seacrest now. But the thing about Joe Scarborough in the morning with Mika is that, unfortunately, since it's the first thing that happens in the morning, so often it ends up dictating what the rest of the day is gonna be. Because it's this long show and they get the interviews first. And those interviews end up being the sound bites. And those sound bites end up getting played for the rest of the day. Do you guys watch any cable television?
Not
cable
anymore,
news?
But maybe they should take Trump up on his offer, because Trump basically owes them for giving him all that access to be on their show and talk about birther stuff and other arrogant nonsense.
Is that where
I think Joe basically made him relevant in a period where he wasn't really.
Yeah, oh really?
I didn't give him a platform to talk about
That's
all
the
this
thing,
stuff.
they just talk over Starbucks for so long that I just tune out. What do you think?
I am apathetic. I am apathetic about them and their marriage and the fact that it is a story that we care that news anchors are getting married, that's now a thing.
Yeah.
And the fact that Trump has offered to, first of all, who's passing out licenses to?
You can go online and get one right now.
So
it's really easy.
So the
Anyone can have
threshold
one.
is okay. If any Trump offers, you should fear for the longevity of your marriage.
Right, yeah, and Jared Kushner jumped in to say, I'll marry them, and Trump said no, which is the first time that Trump has not delegated a responsibility to Jared Kushner. He literally has to do every other thing that anyone in the White House might have to do. There were some good tweets about this, and then we'll move on. We spent too much time on it already, but
we really
here's some tweets.
According to
you and I are.
Well, I'll move on. But the only way to make this worse is imagine if the next year of Morning Joe is all about wedding planning.
Oh my gosh.
Good God, that's the worst. And then Brian Stelter.
Ooh, do you think they'll do it on the air?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, right. That's like if Lady Di and Charles was like the most watched wedding of all time, then this would be the least watched television wedding of all time. And so Brian Stelter tried to give what's called a portmanteau, which is when you put two words together like spork or Brangelina. But Brzezinski, Joka, Skarzinski, Miko. I know that was
that's
funny.
Pocahontas's raccoon. You can't have that.
This is bad. Do you think if they get divorced that it'll increase the likelihood that the show will get canceled? Because then that
I think the show would get more interesting if they got divorced.
really.
Maybe this is all just a ratings ploy.
Yeah, well, today on MSNBC, they were talking about how the ratings were up across the board on MSNBC. So who knows?
We're not the Young Turks, you're the Young Turks. You power this show. Together, we built something amazing. We've broken stories like the Donna Brazil story the mainstream media wouldn't break. We built the studio, we built this network. It's now #1, all thanks to you guys. Let's come build it even bigger and stronger. TYTnetwork.com/join.